Hi all you YouTubers. This is part B of putting back together everything on this 2000 Blazer 4.3 motor, four-wheel drive, four-wheel disc brakes, parking brake on the rear. I want to show you some stuff that I found when I took apart the other side. This is what your parking brake shoe or emergency brake shoe is supposed to look like, and this is what was on the passenger side. This is what was on the driver's side. No lining left at all. So you look at one side, and you need to check both sides. Make sure they're in good condition. Also, I wanted to show you when you're shoving back in the piston or you're on your caliper, you need to drain the brake fluid. I don't know if you can see this very well. It's black. I accidentally dumped some of the bottle, but it's supposed to be clear. I had changed brake lines on the coming back to the rear a few months ago, so I know everything else was changed, but this was still what was in the calipers. So when you're shoving the calipers back in, either using a big pair of channel locks or a big C-clamp, you need to flush this stuff out. This will ruin your calipers big time. I had to replace the caliper on the other side because it was all froze up. Also, let's see, where is it? For those of you that can't find two-piece dust shields, so that you don't have to pull the axle when your dust shield needs replaced, I cut this dust shield down along here and into here, so that you just bend it and it goes right over the axle. Here, I'll show you. Bend it like that. Turn it. It's on there. Straighten up your bends a little bit. That goes on there like that. When you cut it, just make sure you cut it through a bolt hole. That way, when you bolt it back up, you can pull everything back together, and the bolt and the washer holds it from moving back and forth. Up. And this has to be there. I'm going to stick this bolt in here just to hold things in place. Sometimes it's difficult to get everything all lined up. That's why one reason you want to leave everything loose, to get everything all together. I got it started through the hole, but I can't get it the rest of the way through. There we go. It makes it a lot easier cutting that dust shield so you can slide it over the axle. On this, for me to pull the axle, I would have had to pull the cover off the rear end. Chevy axles, see these axles, they slide a little bit. On the inside of the spider gears, there's a lock ring. It covers about 2/3 of the share. See, right there, I cut the dust shield down through that bolt hole and then down through the little piece there above where the emergency brake housing is, so that I could twist the the dust cover to go over the axle without pulling the axle. Because to pull the axle on this, I'd have had to pull the cover off the rear end, and since my seals wasn't leaking, I wasn't about to go through all that work. So here's where I am now. I got that's your parking brake shoe, and I'm going to stop things in a minute. I'll put this camera on a tripod and then I'll be back. This is part B, of putting everything back together. The other part A was taking everything apart. I'm going to stop here for a second. I'll be right. Hi all you guys on YouTube. This is Dennis. I found something important that I wanted to include. On that 2000 S-10 Blazer, was four-wheel drive, four-wheel disc brakes on the rear axle, on the parking brake, and the lever that comes through the back of the dust shield. This pin broke on me after 2 weeks. If you buy a kit, it includes this and this and this pin and the clip that holds the parking brake, the shoe in place. So this pin goes in there. It just sets in there. The grease holds it in place, and that pin goes up into that little hole on that lever for the parking brake. On the back side of your dust shield is this. This goes there. It's all rotted in two. It lets the dirt and the water and everything else get in there and rust it up, freeze it up. This goes over top that, and these screws goes through there, and through the back of the dust shield. Okay, now the screws are going to be froze up tight. If you try to take them off without any heat, you're going to twist off the screws. It's important that you take a propane torch or Napa torch or whatever you got and heat them from the back side. And then after a little bit, you'll be able to work them loose. If you try doing it without any heat or heating them from the front side, you're going to twist them off like I did. I twisted one off. I center punched the center of the screw right dead center, but my drill bit that I used, it was sharpened wrong. It went off center, and I was able to get the screw out, but I had a hole and a half. So I ended up using a pop rivet to hold the clip on for the top of the parking brake shoe. So when you buy, if you go to Amazon to buy your stuff, in the kit, they've got a kit for the parking brake. You get all this stuff and this in the kit. I didn't know it. So if I'd have paid a few more dollars for that kit, then I'd have got it all together. If you go to the dealer to buy this stuff, they'll give you the dust shield, they'll give you the parking brake shoe. This I think is in it, but they want $240 for all of it. That's way too much money. For a few more dollars, I paid, let's see, I paid $57 for the parking brake shoe and a couple clips. If I'd have spent a few more dollars, I'd have got all this stuff in it. So check around, see what, make sure you're getting everything. And don't twist off, be very careful taking them screws out. And when you're putting the caliper back on, or the rotor back on, put it on, shove down your emergency brake a couple times and release it. Take the rotor back off and adjust this. And then take your rotor back off, or put your rotor on, shove the emergency brake down a couple more times. Keep doing this till you've got the shoes centered in there and you've got this adjusted just to where the shoe slightly drags when you're turning the rotor and everything's together. If you don't get it tight enough or adjusted close enough, you're going to snap off this pin like I did. You know, I put everything together. I didn't shove down on the emergency brake. I didn't have everything centered. I thought I had it adjusted close enough, and I didn't. So after 2 weeks of use, I broke that pin, and the emergency brake lever went clear to the floor. So here's just a little bit of advice to help you guys on your next brake job. I hope this helps. This is Dennis. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay. Now I gotta change the hardware. Put the new stuff in. There's this. Goes in here like, I don't want to cut up my dust shield. Come on. Come on. There's that. Make sure everything looks okay there. Okay, here's the clips there. Oh, wait a minute. I'm just remembered something I gotta do. Getting ahead of myself. Gotta put this back on. Sorry, I'm working on the wrong side for the camera. It's about 40 degrees outside here in Ohio. And since I don't have a garage, let me tell you, my fingers are cold. I like to have my gloves on, but it's not easy sometimes working with gloves on. There's that. Put a little bit of ACs on there. Keep everything moving real good. You don't want things to start rusting up. To the point where, so your caliper has to slide from side to side as your brake pads wear. Your disc brake pads always wear worse on your piston side. That's the inside here. So you got to make sure everything slides like it needs to be. Here's my pads. You notice I put NECs on them already. Get them on the right way. There's that. Here's that. Notice there's NECs on both of them. Get the dirt off of there. You've got sensors on both sides, in and out, for them to start squealing. Before things get down to the point where you start ruining stuff. Okay, my pads are on. Here's my caliper. Oh, I've already had these apart, never seized these up, top and bottom. Get my bolts out of my pan here. There's one. And there's two. Put a little bit of seize on them. Always helps put this stuff on. Makes it come apart so much easier. Okay, I got everything all together. When I pushed on my brake pedal, you got to make sure you push on the brake pedal when before you get done. Make sure things ain't froze up. This one's okay. That one on the other side already is okay. I pushed on a pedal one time, hit it second time, and I had full pedal. You don't want to go out on the street without checking your brakes. Make sure you don't have no leaks. Since I got my back tires off, I'm going to rotate my tires. I'm going to four-wheel crisscross. The right front is going to go on the left rear, and left front is going to go over here. That means, so I'll get a good wear out of all of them. The only thing you got to watch, if you got tires that are directional you'll see an arrow on the sidewall showing which direction they got to go. If you've got a directional tire, all you do is rotate front to back. You don't do crisscross. So all I could do is hook up my emergency brake, do my tires, make sure my master cylinder is full, and I'm good to go. I got this thing on all tight. Everything's on all tight. Turns. Okay. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Hope all you guys have a good Thanksgiving and get a good feed. Have a good day. Thank you. This is Dennis from Massillon, Ohio, signing off. All you good YouTubers, let me know what you think.